The rally is on. Bitcoin's breaking 51,000. Ethereum's breaking 4,000. And who knows, we could break our all-time highs in the next 30 to 60 days. It's very exciting. But what's more exciting is that DeFi, or decentralized finance, is becoming a reality. So no longer is Bitcoin just a thing we can trade between each other. There are now an entire host of various crypto assets that have real functionality. They're going to change our lives. They're going to change the very fabric of our lives. And that's why we're so excited. And that's why we're going all in. Today, I want to talk about options because they're misunderstood. Most people fear them, but a lot of my students are using them and making a lot of money right now. And I just want to shout out some of my students. I couldn't be more excited with our DeFi Academy. But again, right now, I've got students that are just posting their gains for the last 30 days. I got Brendan in New Zealand who's up 69%. Great job, buddy. I'm super excited. I got Steve from Europe up 83% on the month. I've got Albert in Singapore up 169%. And I've got Susan who's up 153%. That's $11,000 she made on her option trades alone. Another student made 442% on one coin, and another student made 139% on another single coin. And Steve sent me this message last week. He said, "Thanks a lot, Brian. It's been a great learning journey for me so far. Thanks to you and your DeFi Academy and the group. I have applied the principles from the course mixed with my own crypto space knowledge and investment intuition. I would have never had the focus and discipline without this course. Thank you." He's referring to our DeFi Academy. I'll talk about that later. But today I want to talk about this. Number one, and part one is going to be options, basics, and fundamentals. If you don't know what an option is, it's okay. I'm going to bring you up to speed. I'm going to explain what a call is and what a put is. And don't worry, this took me a while to figure out. And I learned at MIT from some of the best professors in the world, and it still took me weeks and months and even years to really understand these concepts. So the best time to start is now, and I'm going to get you started today. Part two, I'm going to talk about the Greeks. Some of you have heard about these Greek letters that we use in option trading. I'm going to talk about delta, gamma, theta, and vega. Again, it's not as complicated as you think it is. And once you start trading it, it becomes very, very fundamental. And number three, in part three, I'm going to tell you specific options strategies for maximum gains that my students are using right now. And I'm talking about things like being long calls, short puts, covered calls, bull spreads, strangles, digital options, and more. I'm going to cover everything today. So stay with me. Leave me a comment below. I'm going to be reading out your questions because this is going to be a fun episode. I couldn't be more excited. Before we get started, I just want to say I am not a financial advisor and nothing in this video should be considered financial advice. All right, let's start off. When it comes to options, don't let them intimidate you. All right, options are much easier than you think. Once you understand a few of the basic fundamentals, trading them becomes second nature and an excellent tool to make great gains alongside your long positions in various currencies and cryptocurrencies. But you must be aware they are highly risky, and you always must assume all of your capital is risk. Also, options on crypto are not allowed in some regions and states and countries. So check with your local legislation and always follow the law. Just be aware of it. And again, always assume all of your capital is risk. All right, let me tell you a quick story briefly before we jump into it and I get into the news and who's going to be here this week and we get into options. When I was a student at MIT, I was 20 years old, and I took an options course at the Sloan School of Management, where all the MBA types would be. And here's a picture of what we call Lobby 7 at MIT. Of course, every building has a number. It doesn't have a name to it because we're a bunch of dorks. But this is the building I would walk into every single day. And even though I was a bit of a punk back then, and even though I was a bit cynical, I still, when I walked into that Lobby 7, I would look at the ceiling, and that picture doesn't do it justice because there's like a stained glass piece at the top that's like, lit from the inside. And I was always very proud to be in such an institution with such a great history and that pushed me to my limit every day. And that's what it did. It really pushed me. And I remember learning options, and I thought I was pretty smart. I was studying mechanical engineering. The concept itself was much simpler than some of the concepts I was trying to learn in particle physics or dynamics or thermodynamics or fluid dynamics. That was really complicated. But the options took me weeks and months to get. And I remember it was one night about 2 a.m. I was in Lobby 7 in one of the classrooms upstairs, and these were old school where they had these old radiators that would keep it hot. And it was probably snowing outside in Boston, and we would open the window to cool down. And I was studying there late with one of my buddies, and we were drawing it on the chalkboard. They had chalk back then, trying to figure out what these little hockey stick things look like that I'm going to share with you. And then finally, it hit me, and I said, I get it. So again, sometimes this stuff takes time. The more you talk about it, the more it will start to soak into your DNA. And like my students, sometimes they get it in the shower. Sometimes they get it when they're cooking dinner. Sometimes they get it when they're driving their kids to school, and then it finally clicks. So just give it time, keep studying, apply it, try a few small trades, and it's gonna come to you. All right, before we get started, let me talk about the news. We have seen a massive crypto rally, all right? It's great to see cryptos hitting their all-time highs. Bitcoin has broke $51,000. It was up a couple percent in even 24 hours. Ethereum has broke $4,000. And it looks like this is gonna be a hot summer, and we couldn't be more excited. We've also seen cryptos like Solana hit some incredible new highs, and Avalanche. Both have gained over 10% in the last couple periods of 24 hours. These are exciting times, but again, this rally doesn't feel like the one in May where there wasn't necessarily a lot behind it and it came crashing down. This feels like people and institutions and the world is starting to realize that decentralized finance is part of our future as human beings. It means financial freedom to all of us. It means over 2 billion people in this world that are unbanked can get basic access to borrowing and lending via the blockchain and crypto. There's a reason for this. We can also see in Europe now you can use crypto to pay for your parking in many places. And we've got websites like shop.com now have announced their support for accepting cryptocurrency, along with PayPal and PayPal here in the UK as well. Trust me, this is happening. It's not too late, but you want to get in on this right now. Don't wait until 2022 when it could be too late. This week, we are committed, as usual, to be broadcasting live the top players in the crypto and DeFi space. On Wednesday, we've got Sandeep Nalwal, the founder of Polygon, which is a scaling solution that is built around the Ethereum blockchain, and it's used for developing other decentralized apps. Current market capitalization, only about $11 billion. And on Thursday, we've got Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, a market cap just under $100 billion. Some consider this is the network that's going to take over Ethereum. We couldn't be more excited to have Charles here. He's probably the single most important voice in the cryptocurrency and DeFi space, and we're very excited to have him here, and we appreciate all the broadcasting he does and all the work that he's done on the Cardano blockchain. Very exciting stuff happening there as well. The last bit of news is our DeFi Academy is closing in the next 24 hours. At this time tomorrow, I will be broadcasting live from this studio, but only to my students, a small group of people from countries around the world that have decided to spend the next 4 weeks educating themselves in the future of finance. They're working on creating generational wealth for themselves and financial freedom for the rest of the world. And I couldn't be more excited. If you want to learn more about our DeFi Academy before we shut this thing down, go to londonreal.tv/DeFi, submit your application. I'll talk more about that later. It's exciting, it's exclusive, and we are changing people's lives, and they're making money literally in the first 30 days. It's an exciting time. You want to get in on crypto now. That's my advice for you.